Hello and welcome to Getter Builds. We're back with another episode of Satisfactory, and today we're going to be finishing off Tier 2 and jumping into a few new things. So first off, we've got all of the materials necessary here to go ahead and send off this part assembly milestone. And part assembly is a major upgrade in that it's going to give us access to part assemblers, which is what we need to be able to do lots of things. I was doing a little bit of fuel gathering off camera to keep our generators running here for power, and in the process we came across a few items to continue moving our research along here. And so we're gonna jump over here to, I think it's nutrients. We were missing one of these bacon agriic, I think that's how you pronounce it. And so we've got that research here now, so we're gonna be able to unlock that. And I believe that's gonna unlock this next section here. And what this is gonna do, this nutritional mixture, I think is a healing item, but we haven't unlocked the things necessary to research that yet. This is gonna require some more advanced tech. And so let's take a look here. The color gun is going to allow us to change the color of some of our factory stuff, but before we do that, I wanted to get into Caterium. We found some Caterium nodes around, and so we're going to go ahead and unlock this tree. And this is a more advanced endgame material that we're going to need a lot of as we get further down the line. We've just found some lying around, and so I'm going to go ahead and keep working my way down this tree. I'm going to need 10 bars, but that's going to give me 6 more inventory slots, which is really cool. 50 bars is going to give me quick wire, which is a really useful material. And then this node down here is what I'm trying to get to. And so we're going to try and see if we can get to that today. I know where there's a Caterium node, so we might just go grab some more Caterium here so that we can make some ingots. I also found a yellow slug, and so we're going to be able to unlock yellow power shards, which, if I'm not mistaken, just make more power shards when you create them than the green slugs do. And so we're going to get that unlocked here. I've got all the stuff necessary to unlock slug scanning, so we can scan and find slugs. And then we've got the stuff necessary to unlock overclocking, so I can put a power shard into a building and overclock it. So we'll get that all going here in a minute as well. I don't have enough of that to do anything, but we did find some sulfur as well, which unlocks this research tree, so we might as well get that unlocked. And this is going to be for things like explosives and weapons. So as we find some more sulfur and eventually some coal here, we'll be able to start unlocking this tree as well. I'm just going to start some more of this research off to run in the background while we're doing things. I'm not going to sit here and do every research, but these things are generally, you know, good minor upgrades. At some point here, we're going to be able to get a gun and, ooh, an extended tool belt. That looks handy, so we're going to go ahead and unlock that. That'll take about 5 minutes, and we'll come back and check on this stuff in just a little while. So with some MAM research out of the way, really the next thing we need to do, we can finish off these milestones. We're going to need to make some rotors, which we can do. We need to set up an assembler to do that. But really what I want to do today is get this space elevator unlocked. And so we need to find a place that we're going to put our space elevator here. And as you can see, it's absolutely ginormous. And so my first thought was, well, could I put it up on top of this building? But just looking at this thing in comparison, that building isn't really big enough, and I think it'd look a little awkward there. And so in the course of my explorations, we came up here on top of this hill. We were getting some fuel for the biomass burners, and I came to the realization that the top of our building was fairly flat here along with the rest of this. And my first inclination was, well, let me just put a roof over this area and we'll build it right here, but I really don't want to block in all of the mining nodes and everything else underneath here. This is kind of a temporary setup, but I want to keep the resource area pretty clean. And so I came over here. I think there was a power slug up here is what I originally came up here for. But as I was up here, I came to the realization, just looking around, that maybe this plateau here would be a good place to put our space elevator. And if you look here at the space elevator, if I rotate this around in a few different directions, it would fit up here pretty nicely. I'd have to cut down all these trees, and I'd obviously want to put down some foundations to have something nice and flat to put it on. But I think we're going to put it right up here, and that'll be nice and out of the way. It'll be something we can see. Part of the fun of the game is to be able to just look at some of the cool structures and stuff. And the space elevator for me is just definitely one of the coolest structures in the game. So we're going to go and pick up some concrete and go up there and build some foundations. But before we do, let's just check the hub here and double check what do we need to be able to complete this. Some rotors, which requires iron rods and screws. So let's go ahead and select that as our milestone. And then what I'm going to do is just to get this going so that it can be working on that while we're busy putting our factory together, is I'm going to go ahead and build an assembler. And in order to do that, I have to handcraft some rotors. And one of the cool features I found is if you just mouse over this area and push spacebar, you don't have to hold your mouse down anymore. It'll just do it for you. And so if you are manually crafting some things, that greatly simplifies the process for you. And we're gonna put this down on the ground here, right here, just as a quick and dirty intermediate way to get some rotors going. And we're just gonna grab some screws. We're gonna grab some iron rods, and we're gonna let this thing start making us some rotors. And it'll stack up here on its own, so I'm not too worried about it. And I just need to grab some power. And this thing's gonna kill my power grid most likely. I did have to shut off this whole setup over here. The awesome sink was draining just way too much power. And so maybe it looks like this thing's actually gonna run. Or is it still filling up resources? It's still filling up resources. Wow, the screws need 100 per minute to run. And so I'm just waiting to see if my power grid goes offline right now. It looks like it's gonna be fine. And so I guess we need to get some Mark II belts here. So let's see, I can't upgrade that because I need 6 more of those. Let me grab those real quick, and we'll just get this thing running efficiently. All right, here we go. So now we've got an appropriate amount of screws and rods coming into here. So the rotors should keep running. We did get a message our MAM was done with research. And so we're gonna go ahead and just grab some more research here, get that going. And we forgot to upgrade the belt inside of the building there to a Mark II. So we're gonna do that here real quick for all 3 of these, just so that we don't run into that same situation next time we try to pipe materials out of here. And we've got that all running efficiently. We're gonna grab our concrete and get started with building our factory up above. All right, so step 1, we need to clear all of the stuff from this plateau. And then that should actually give us quite a bit of resources for fueling this factory for a little while. We are gonna need to build another set of power buildings, I think, now that we're starting to get ahead of our factory. I'd really like to have this awesome sink running right now. And so we're gonna get that this plateau cleared, get all these resources in our inventory, and then we're gonna have, I think, enough fuel to expand our biofuel generation. All right, so with everything cleared, now we need to figure out what height the platform here should be. We've got this rock jutting up over here. We've got a pretty high area over here. I'd really like the factory up here to line up with this bridge we've got going between the 2 plateaus. Because I think we're likely going to end up building something over there at some point as well. And so I always like when my factories kind of snap together. And so I think what we're going to do is I'm going to put down a big 4-meter high platform here. And I think this is going to give me the height that I need to get over all of these other obstructions. Now, I should have probably stayed on this side. I'm going to put a ramp here just to help us get up on this. for the time being while we're building everything up here. And we're just gonna cover this area in these larger platforms. Now, I prefer to not have things hang off of the edges too much, and so we're gonna try and make this look good. Now, this is saying I'm encroaching somebody's clearance, trying to put one there. I don't know why that would be. So we're gonna just keep working our way through here. We really should have stayed up on top. We're gonna try and get back around here for a moment. Alright, so we have built a platform out here. We also put a ramp down over here. We'll go check that out in a second. But we should be able to position this space elevator now, so hopefully we've lined this all up in a way that we're going to be able to bring our materials in here. Now, it's kind of an awkward size, so I'm just trying to gauge where it needs to go. I think that's about centered. I don't want it hanging off of the platform anywhere. Whoops, I think I moved it at the last second there. Let me just, hang on. We're gonna, whoops. I don't think I can actually dismantle it. I dismantled the platform somewhere. Oh, no, I did. Alright, hang on now. Let's try that one more time and get it in just the right spot. So I want it, oh, it's so touchy. Right here. There we go. Alright, let's see what happens here. This thing is just awesome. I love watching all the materials fly out of your inventory. I didn't realize at first that it's the actual different materials, like the copper wire, the iron rods. It's a really nice little touch. That's my favorite part of the game, is watching the space elevator cable come down here and get attached. There we go. We are officially into the space elevator age. We're gonna be able to start feeding stuff into this to advance our technology now, so that is super awesome. So if we look over here, I've got my nice little ladder so we can get up there and check things out, but we did end up putting a little ramp down because we can get into all the other areas on the other side of this mountain without having to run all the way around now, which is pretty useful. And with the space elevator here now, we've got these inputs that we're going to be able to pipe materials in. And where did our little whatchamajigger go? I meant to put this on the other side. Maybe we'll rearrange this here a little bit later, but we're going to need to make a whole bunch of these smart plating at some point. So we'll get into this whole tier in a little while. But we do have the space elevator placed now, and I just fell off of my factory here, so I guess we'll take the short path down. However, with that, we've had this assembler running for a while, so we should have plenty of rotors to be able to unlock this final Tier 2 technology. And so now we're at 85 rotors. I think we'll need just a few iron plates here, and we should be good to go to unlock this last milestone. And then if we look at our milestone list here, we have to complete phase 1 of the space elevator before we unlock these additional tiers in here, which is essentially piping those materials into the space elevator. So we're going to be tackling that whole process next episode, as we are going to need to put together a basic factory. And so we're going to be putting some assemblers up on the roof of our iron factory here and getting that going. We'll have to wait for next episode to jump into that. That's all for today. Kedrick,